Reflect on what we saw yesterday. Of course, what a brilliant game between Real Madrid and Manchester City. Bravo Madrid, así gana el Madrid. Real Madrid win again, a 3-2 lead. Of course, they will take to the Santiago Bernabeu next week. Gab's still with us. Craig, I want to start with you. You went on yesterday's show, obviously.
Oh, and there was one man on the show, the only man on the planet, well, maybe not, who didn't like the game.
Frank didn't like it because there was too many mistakes, didn't he said. Yeah. But when I was watching this, I was thinking, we saw a lot of dross in the FA Cup this weekend. Manchester United were poor, Chelsea, even Villa Spurs wasn't that great a game. This was exactly what you want from a football match.
Absolutely, it was such a fun match, and the mistakes, I suppose, made it fun. What?
Fun? What do you say fun?
You're having the day I was having yesterday. This game was fun. Real Madrid been very ponderous this year. That first 15 minutes, it was like a different team, but they had legs in midfield.
Yeah,
Rodrigo and Ceballos and Camavinga was back from injury, not fully fit, but back, and Bellingham. And then sometimes it was a 4-4-2, and sometimes it was a 3. But the energy they had, it was like Man City couldn't cope, and it was absolutely brilliant to watch. Should have been at least 2 up in 15 minutes. But then, to be fair, then their old bad habits lost them some control of the game, and that was the front two kind of not tracking back, and it allowed City to get some real, possession of the game with John Stones in the middle of the park. And they actually, I think, for me, they had the best 20 minutes towards the end of the second half that I think they've had for a while, because John Stones was just picking the ball up and they were shoving. Now, they didn't create a lot, but they played well. But Real Madrid, there's no doubt about it. When you think about Real Madrid, they had Valverde, who I know the guys touched on yesterday, he's just a machine at right back. They have another midfielder, Tchouameni, at centre half. They have a guy in Asensio who's only played, I think, 12 games at centre half, and Mendy at left back. So this is very much a makeshift, and all the other injuries, all the other makeshift sides to their game and their team. And they, as everybody's talked about yesterday and today, they could easily have beaten City by 5 or 6.
I think Frank's probably gone at it from a professional point of view as opposed to somebody who's just sitting watching the game.
Yeah.
I think that's what he's done. But quite frankly, is it a surprise that Real Madrid won the game? The surprise is how they won it. The surprise is, well, shouldn't be surprised that with 10 minutes to go, City's 2-1 up, and you're like, I mean, you can actually watch the players on the field, the City players. You can see them starting to tighten up.
But this isn't just because it's Real Madrid. They've done this all season, haven't they?
But you can't do that against Real Madrid.
Yeah.
As Craig said, the first 15, 20, when City were coughing it up. I mean, you talk about Mbappe. When he just knocks it and leaves people 3 and 4 yards back, it's frightening to watch. I mean, if this guy, if he could get himself 100% tip top and get everything spot on, he's unplayable.
It was interesting because we were talking before, and you were saying, imagine when all these 4 are at top form all the same time.
Right.
Can we get to that stage?
I don't see there's any reason why not. I mean, the only reason they never got 6 yesterday against City was because all of them at different times made the wrong decision at the crucial moment. So if they get that right, I don't care who they're playing against.
Yeah,
they're going to be scoring lots and lots of goals.
It was fun, wasn't it, Gab?
Well, not so fun if you're a City fan, but as neutrals, it was great. It's also, let's face it, there's so much resource inequality in football, right? Week in, week out, we see Real Madrid play against Leganés or Valladolid, and they strut out with a confidence and so on, and the same thing, frankly, for City, despite the horrendous season they're having. When they go play against Southampton or Leicester or even mid-table clubs, they're like, "Ooh, City's in town." Now you've got these 2 heavyweights in what Pep called the Classico of European football, or sort of the modern Classico, if you like. And you can kind of see there's a little bit of fear in both of them. There's this level of respect, which I think is partly probably what led to some of the mistakes that were out there. This idea that, we're facing our equals. And, let's face it, it doesn't happen that often to these 2 clubs domestically. And I think that's why it was such a treat last night.
I don't think they're equals anymore, though, are they, at the moment?
No.
Well, no.
It was interesting. Guardiola was asked after the game in his press conference about why these things keep happening, and I don't know if it was smoke and mirrors or he didn't want to throw anybody under the bus, which he didn't have to. He said, "I don't really know, and I can't put my finger on it." Now, come on, the guy's been managing, and it's quite simple why these things happen and why they've been happening. Bad decisions. Bad decisions. It's not. The journalists were saying, is it psychological? Do the players know it's happening? It's happened a lot, even against the weaker sides, and is that in their heads? No, it's just bad decisions.
Yeah.
But 85 minutes on, you're 2-1 up. You have to make better decisions than you were making early in the game because you're trying to see it out. And why Ederson? And I'm trying to remember how it happened. I think he tried to ping one out. I don't know if he miskicked it or not.
That's it.
Right, but it's just decision making. Kovacic playing it back, Rico Lewis been hesitant. There's so many times that City have just made bad decisions at the end of games. You think about the game. Who was the Dutch team that they were 3-0 up again? Was it Dutch Feyenoord? 3-0 up, and then just kept making bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. Left themselves open, lost 3 goals. That's why they're losing the goal.
I agree with you initially when this thing started happening. But after a certain period of time, it does become mental. Because you could physically look at this team with 10 minutes to go, even though they were 2-1 up, and they completely went the opposite way from what they were trying to do in the game. Normally when you're playing, you try to be aggressive, you try to go forward, you try to play passes, but then almost when the clock strikes whatever, they regress and start becoming defensive and take too long to make a decision. And then when you're playing against people with pace and brains, then you get caught out. I think it's a combination of both.
Why is Ederson playing, even try to play a ball like that? I mean, you miss kick a goal kick, right, off your hand, sorry. It should be sky high. It's this height. Yep. The other side of it was, more problems started to appear when he took Ake off. I don't know, Ake's been injured. I don't know how fit he was.
Rico Lewis substitution coming on.
Yeah, he came on for Akanji. But when he brought Kovacic on, he took Ake off and put John Stones back. I thought he was going to bring Kovacic on for Kevin De Bruyne at that point in the game to bring the extra midfielder on to try and shore it up. He did not.